Yes, cunt lords and motherfuckers, this is Sam Spanner, and I'm with my legendary cousin.
Adam Shagem, you're right.
Not too bad, mate. I'd like to apologise to the United Forever podcast's depleted fan base for being inactive for a good part of this year. Basically, just because I'm not going to mention any names, but an immediate person in the family has been fighting cancer and has done pretty good. So just keeping our fingers crossed, touch wood, that um, things continue to progress
Definitely.
positively. That is. So we've lost half the fan base, but it doesn't matter. We we've done fuck all podding, but the
Yeah.
reason why we did podcasts initially was kind of like getting some inspiration from Scotty and Motty, and not only that, but because we're thousands of miles apart, living in different countries. You're in England, in Rowhedge, back in the village, the family village, and I'm down in the south of Spain. This is a great way for us to keep in contact and talk about random banter shit,
Yep.
farts, belches, silly puns,
Exactly.
stupid anecdotes, and of course, things in common interests such as the love for Stretford Paddock and also United, that is, and also rave music
Yep.
and any stupid daft stuff, and
Exactly.
sometimes with a special guest, David R,
Yep.
the Undertaker, and his random stuff.
Yes. Definitely.
So we both have new sound setups.
Yep.
So it's going to be a shortish kind of pod, just in case if things go tits up. I hope they won't,
Yep.
but we'll be optimistic.
Definitely.
And before we start, I'm just going to say we finally managed to see each other after 3 years
Yes, we did.
and reunited at my brother's wedding. And I do think that deserves a podcast in itself, mate.
I think so because that was a good time.
It was indeed.
Yes.
So we've got that in line, and also another silly pod, which will be about the stag do. Because, mate, I've got so many anecdotes to tell you about that. So we'll have some giggles.
Sweet.
And meeting up with David R.
Yep.
Again, that has to be done. So we've got some toilet banter to talk about. So apparently, there's a rumor going around that as you're recovering from your second bout of the Rona,
Yes.
is it true, mate, that you're finally getting your taste and smell back?
Yeah. Very, very slightly. I've been without taste and smell since the 4th of October of last year. And
Fuck.
and then yeah, I caught COVID again beginning of this week.
Yeah.
Um, and when was it? Thursday. I think I finally managed to smell my own fart in nearly 10 months.
Oh,
You don't
mate.
know how
So you
excited
didn't
I
need.
was.
So you didn't need to stick your finger up your ass and do the sniff and taste test.
No, I'll leave that up to Dave.
Brilliant, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, so you've obviously had the Rona and also Lovid, the long COVID as well,
Yeah.
which has been another one of the unfortunately reasons why we haven't been able to do podcasting. But you've just about managed to function in life.
I think so. Just I there are people out there worse off than I am. I kind of got away with it lightly, but it still affected
Yeah,
me enough to mess me up a little bit. However, I'm back, going strong. We go again, and
exactly.
yeah, that's it.
Great stuff. So we've entered a new era in the United life.
Yes,
So we've got Ten Hag, his assistant Gag. So has Ten Hag been gagged by the board by not really getting supported? Give me your opinion about the transfer window so far, mate.
um, what transfer window? That's all I say, really. To be honest with you, you know, we've picked up a couple of good players. Um, You know,
Yeah, we've got Malacia for
Malacia,
left back.
yeah, he's going to
Tales is left.
yeah, Malacia is definitely going to be a player that will end up being first team. Um, he has got a lot about him. He can defend and attack, which we haven't had in a long time. We've either had a winger that could attack and not defend,
Yep,
or a winger that can defend and not attack. So it's nice to be able,
kind of. Yeah,
um, it's nice to be able to have that, coming through. And the guy's only what 22, so he's still quite young, 22, 23.
yeah, definitely.
Um,
Yeah, that's brilliant. And what about Springy Martinez, who's apparently a very, very good jumper, so he can be doing some jump styles, some Dutch gather
well, yeah, well
in Carrington.
the guy is as tall as I am, 5'10". Um, and it was quite apparent today that he was very small against
Yeah,
um, so
Danny Welbeck.
Danny Welbeck. Yeah. However, I think it was you know debut nerves potentially got the better of him. Um,
Yeah, we saw some good. We
oh
saw
yeah,
some
I
bit of sloppy stuff, but
yeah, this is it. I think you know what made me sit up and look at him was the fact. I think it was it was in the first half. Um,
yeah,
he had the ball passed to him from De Gea, and then he ran for a bit, and then he literally just stopped, put his foot on the ball, and looked up. And I
yeah,
was like, "Hang on a moment, we haven't had a defender do that in again a long time." So,
yeah.
y-
No, that was cool as a cucumber.
yeah,
But then I think he even surprised himself a little bit because he was like, "Oh my gosh, that was fucking epic!"
yeah,
And then he went to pass the ball to the slab, I think it was.
yeah,
But then there was a little bit of over adrenaline,
yeah.
you know,
I think so.
too much G force in the pass. But anyway,
Yeah.
I've got to say, if he was um, a top defender for Ajax, you've got to respect that signing.
Oh
But
yeah.
then we got Ericsson on a free,
Yep.
and I've heard the criticism from Howson. The bloke's got a dodgy ticker. He's concerned about his age. Is he on the decline and stuff?
Mm,
We've got Maka, who's happy as Larry, thinks it's a brilliant
yeah.
signing. Today, he seemed very positive.
Yep.
Some sloppy stuff going on in the first half,
Yep.
like a lot of the players, to be honest. But then he did regain some composure, and he kind of looked positive.
Oh yeah. No,
So,
definitely.
what do you think about Ericsson?
Yeah. No. I think we have to put aside and lock it away in a box and throw away the key. All the bit about his health and what happened to him during the Euros and stuff like that.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, if United thought there was a problem, he would not be at United because they would have put him through a medical that would be so intense for that
Yeah,
reason. And that so yes, there is that, but I think we need to look at him. We need to take that away, put it aside, and actually look at him for who he is. Now, um, today, again, as you say, he was a little bit sloppy, but it could have
yeah,
been the adrenaline pumping because he's in a United shirt. He
yeah.
sort of got a second chance. Um,
Well, at the top, yeah, of
yeah, no,
course.
no offense to Brentford, but he's now at a. I nearly said a club that is in the in the top four in the world, but yeah, that's not happening at the moment. However,
No,
you know, uh, he's at a top club again. You know,
yeah,
and there was a couple of long range efforts that again, it kind of surprised me because we haven't seen, especially a central midfielder, do that because you've
yeah,
got Fred with his left foot and can't shoot really. Occasionally, he does come up
yeah,
with a cracker, and the same can be said for McTominay.
yeah,
But I think all in all, um, the transfers that we've had come in were needed,
Yeah.
and it's like it's like anything. It's gonna take time. They need to settle down. They need to, luckily, Ericsson's played for Ten Hag before, hasn't he? Or played with somebody.
Well, yeah, he obviously he got his trade at Ajax back in the day before we went to Spurs, and then obviously after the problem with Inter Milan, the Serie A not allowing him to play after being
Yeah,
diagnosed with heart problems. He was invited to, get back to fitness at Ajax,
yeah.
which was great. So
But it wasn't.
it's like first-hand scouting from
Oh yeah,
Ajax. Sorry, from Ten Hag.
I think so. And isn't because Ericsson played for Ajax, didn't he?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. So he,
Didn't he?
he
He didn't. There might be. And I'm trying to think of the age difference. I don't know. Would he have played with Ten Hag at all?
No, impossible. Because Ten Hag was playing in the 90s, wasn't
Oh
he,
yeah,
for
yeah. Yeah,
Twente?
yeah, yeah,
So there's a good,
yeah,
probably a
yeah.
22-year age gap between them.
Right. Okay. So yeah,
So
no. So yeah, it must be. I think yeah, as you say, Ten Hag knows about him anyway. And he
yeah, I
and he
mean,
would have also. That's what I'm getting confused with. He's played with Donny before. That's where I'm getting confused with. That's where.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
correct.
Um.
But my biggest concern about the transfer window
Yep.
is we've still got a lot of players that probably aren't going to feature. They're on big wages
Yep.
and they haven't been sold. So, in order to make space for youth to sort of be getting bled into the squad,
Yeah.
I'm worried that we're not going to be able to offload anyone apart from, well, I mean, probably sell them. I know we got rid of Pereira
Yeah.
to Fulham, but I can't see us selling anyone. Everyone will, if anyone goes, they'll probably be loaned out. Even
Yeah. I,
Ronaldo, don't have a fucking clue what's gonna
I
happen there,
I
mate.
think unfortunately well unfortunately fortunately with whatever way you want to look at it, um, the Ronaldo saga, um,
Raga.
the Raga, yeah, um, basically he doesn't see himself as a 37-year-old. He's seeing himself as a 30, 32-year-old, something like that, where he would have been
Yeah,
snapped up at any point. Um,
exactly.
and I think his agent had a lot to do with that as well. Whereas
Yeah,
he's come out and said, "Well, I'm going to leave to get Champions League football." No, you're not.
yeah,
Unfortunately, the way it is now, you're not. No, nobody. Well, you might be able to get Champions League football, but not at the level you want Champions League football. Do you see what I'm saying?
yeah. Maybe Sporting will get him,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Portugal.
yeah. So yes, you'll be
But
playing Champions League football, but you'll be out in the group stages.
yeah,
That sort of level. Whereas he would, I think, in his heart, he was expecting Bayern Munich to come along and go, oh, here's 300 grand a week. You come and play for us in the Bundesliga, and we'll go and win the Champions League because obviously they've lost.
Lewandowski.
Yeah, so that's what I think he thought was going to happen. And I also don't think he's going to go anywhere because he's started playing in the Premier League again this season. If he hadn't have
Yeah,
returned to training, if he hadn't put on a shirt and played today, then I would have gone, yeah, he's not going to be playing this season. But he has, so he's not going anywhere. Basically,
that's what you think.
yeah, that's what I think.
I I I think, mate, that just because I listened to Howson this afternoon and he did say that he's personally been texting Laurie Whitwell, that there is serious interest in Arnautovic, the one who went off to China after he was at West Ham.
Yeah,
He's 33. He's a striker. He's strong, and I, I am seriously thinking that he's going to be the striker that Ten Hag will sign, because the Raga I do think will come to an end, because
yeah,
this bloke who's taken the reins is going to think, Christ, how am I going to control this shit show if I've got someone so influential that
yeah,
has got one foot one foot already out the door, you know.
Yeah,
So if his heart isn't committed to the cause, you
yeah.
know, that's not good for the
But
for what to do in
what
the season.
what I would say is, wouldn't you rather have him in the tent spitting out than out the tent spitting in?
Well, I'd rather fart in the tent and lift it up.
I think, yeah. I, I don't. I think that it's going to be one of those agree to disagree conversations. Whoever you talk to, whatever United fan you talk to,
Yeah,
because you've got people like myself that he is a legend of the club, and I would have him in any team.
yeah.
And then,
Well,
y-
that's what's great about United Forever podcast
yeah,
because you've given him full support,
yeah,
and I've been very wary about having him back, and I've been quite a big critic of him
yeah,
because I'm also thinking if I was a manager and I look at the last say 7 seasons
yeah.
of Ronaldo's career, how many managers have been sacked? I think there's only been what 7 managers have been
Yeah,
sacked or something,
I think that's just.
or
I
six.
think that's just coincidence, but I know what. Again, this is what I'm saying. I We agree to disagree. It's sort of like
Oh yeah, totally, mate.
I fully understand what you're saying, but I just don't. I don't know. I think unfortunately he is a massive target. So he is a target for the press. They will write any shit to sell their rag,
Yeah,
and
the rag for the raga.
exactly. So I think what do you do? We've got rid of Cavani now, so
Yeah,
um, yeah, it's
I would say something crazy. Now I've been reading some silly rumors.
right.
Now I don't know if this is going to happen, but this is if Ten Hag isn't going to get any support now
Yeah.
with any more incomings. I think that he will experiment and put McSauce as a forward, mate.
Uh,
And he'll be like, right, you're a nutter, and just do something crazy up front and
yeah.
try and snap some ankles, and then just
Well,
try and get on the end of some crosses. Hold on. Oh, high pitch.
I think you know, like when I'm watching the game today, I actually text you going, "Fuck me, did I just see Avram in the crowd?"
Yeah, with all his fucking family.
Yeah, and I was like, "What the fuck? That hasn't happened in like ever." You know,
Yeah,
so
if not for a long time.
B, what the fuck, and B, um, how much security did he have? Because that was rather dangerous. I personally,
Yeah,
I'm all up for him coming over and the board coming over to actually see what's going on.
yeah.
But considering the relationship between the fans and the board at the moment, that was a dangerous move. Now, um, in that respect, but
I was waiting for the bonfire song
yeah,
because I mean, obviously Woodward is still a hate figure
yeah, I think,
along with the Glazers, so I was expecting the fans to start burning that out, but
yeah,
the stadium seemed relatively positive, which
yeah,
is kind of nice, to give Ten Hag a proper welcome and
definitely,
all that. But
and
now,
at the end of the
if I was to ask you,
yeah,
right, based on the maybe the limited net spend that he's received
again,
compared to many other football clubs and stuff
yeah.
in the Premier League, what is your season prediction? So where will we finish?
Hang on, I need to take a drink.
Just
I've just got a dry throat. Hang on. Hang on. Fuck. Swallowed a fly. No.
cotton mouth.
It's just the thought of having to predict. I was like, fuck. No, not really.
Dehydration.
Right. I reckon we'll be lucky to finish sixth.
Okay, so seventh or sixth.
Sixth. We'll finish
Okay,
sixth, but we'll be lucky to finish sixth. Now, I'm hoping. that, at the end of the day, Manchester United with Ten Hag was always going to lose their maybe first three matches. That's always going to happen.
You reckon?
Yeah, it's going
I didn't expect that, but after today's performance,
to.
I'm kind of jumping onto your
I
sinking ship at the minute.
I hate playing Brighton, regardless of who's in
Yeah,
charge. I don't know
yeah,
what it is, but they've just got some players that really, really grind me. One being
yeah.
Trossard, who's a tosser, and I'm
Yeah,
kind of glad that Maguire got the better of him. Um, Solly
yeah.
March is another one who fucks me off. I don't know what it is, but he's just he's a cunt. I don't know why. I don't even know the bloke, but I think he's a cunt.
Yeah.
And another one who only made a bit part was Tariq Lamptey. He's another one who pisses me
Okay.
off. And again, I can't give you a reason, but
I'm just hearing lampshade and Solero from your comments, mate. So
I just yeah, I don't know what it is, but
yeah,
Graham Potter has got them drilled.
yeah, totally. I mean, Howson gave him a lot of praise today, which is, he deserves it because he's got a really cool trajectory,
Yeah,
in his managerial career. Now he does a lot of stuff by thinking outside the box
yeah,
and getting players to sort of leave their comfort zone, not in footballing terms, but also like off the pitch and stuff,
right,
which is quite, remarkable,
yeah,
really. But I think, right, that we're gonna finish seventh
right,
conference, mate, Europa Conference. And it's going to be a nasty season with a lot of up and downs, and we're going to get a lot of people in the typical chats
yeah,
on the paddock saying, Eric 10 months.
yeah. I
But
think at the end of the day, the way you got to look at it is, you know, we've being a United fan since Mourinho, we've been up and down, up and down, on the roller coaster that is Manchester United, and the next manager is always like, um, I've got a project, and then they get sacked, and then the next manager comes along, I've got a project. Um, I got behind Ollie and his project, but unfortunately that fell flat on its face, didn't it?
yeah, no, I did say there was one key moment for that fucking up, and that was when we sold Dan James, of all
Oh
people.
yeah, I know the amount of slating we gave the lad, but it's true. But like I think,
That little
yeah,
bloke was the one who kept the shit together,
potential,
and he left, and it all fell
yeah,
apart.
potentially correct there. But I think with Ten Hag, the next two seasons, we've got that in the next two seasons. There's four transfer windows.
Yeah,
Come January of next year,
come your way.
not next year of next season. So that would be Jan 2024.
That's right.
That's when we should see a team that he is happy with. Because, going back to what you were saying about not being able to get rid of players, I think
Yeah.
he will just get rid of them, in the
Well,
respect of send them out on loan, forget about them, and then and
okay.
that's it. I think they're not going to be. He won't be worried about a financial package. He just want rid of them, and
A
um,
package.
yeah, and I think a lot of the players will need to understand that, and I'm hoping that a lot of players today, when they got in that dressing room full time, sat up and listened.
Got their dick slapped.
Yeah, I think that, and that's the difference. People say that obviously Ollie was too soft with him. Rangnick,
Gave them the Gagan press.
yeah, and, and they didn't respect him. I
Yeah,
think a few of them will try that with Ten Hag, but will come up
yeah.
against a brick wall because he will not take any shit. And it's
Now,
been proven the fact that I know he wasn't match fit, but even if he was, I think Ronaldo would have started on the bench today regardless.
Yeah. Well, I've got a little theory why things went to shit very quickly with Rangnick.
Right.
Basically, because Jesse stole the left pod from AirPod from Armus, and Pogba stole the right one. So there was no motivational speech for a few hours, so that fucked him off.
I think,
Anyway,
yeah.
before we wrap things up, mate,
Yep.
I'm going to ask you one little question,
Yep.
and I want a yes or a no. That's it.
Yep. Okay.
Will we get any silverware this season?
I'm gonna. Yes, but it's only going to be the Carabao Cup.
Okay, and how are we going to take that off City if that's their sacred cup?
City are after. City are going for Champions League this year, like properly. Look at who they've brought in. They are going after Champions League properly
Yeah.
this season. So, the Carabao Cup is, nothing to them now. And I'm going to make a prediction like you did a couple of seasons back.
What about us winning the quadruple last
No,
season?
nothing like that. But you know, are we in Europa League this year? Aren't we?
Yes, we are,
Right.
mate.
Okay.
Blessed Thursday nights, which is very convenient
Yes.
actually, because I don't mind watching football on a Thursday night and then watching it on a Sunday after lunch.
Exactly. So I think potentially the Europa League is something that we could look at because let's be honest, we got to the final with a team that was just as shit. Let's be honest.
No, mate, it was much better. Don't forget we had Dan James, okay?
And a load of good. He didn't even give De Gea a pep talk for penalties.
Oh, mate.
That's why he got the boot.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to answer my own question and I'm going to say no, we're not going to win any silverware.
Right.
But that for me isn't a priority because what I would love us to do is to literally come Christmas
Yep.
have a core squad of academy products
Right.
and then the other players just being phased out. So that's it, mate.
I think you might. I think you've touched on something there. A lot of the academy will be present, especially this month. I think in Ten Hag's head, he hasn't got a starting 11 in his head yet.
No, but I mean, it's more or less having a squad of 23 that you'll be rotating, especially
Yeah.
with the new substitution rules. But
Yeah.
so let's wrap things up. Can I get one last word, mate, or a belch, or a fart? In fact, mate, you've been informed
Yeah. No,
after the wedding.
no. I think if I tried to fart, I'd end up shitting my pants again.
Brilliant,
But
mate.
yeah, no, it's over and out from me, really.
Sweet. And I'll be speaking to you later, you chronic masturbator. Oh, fuck.